Cheers. Welcome. Mag of Cascadia tuning in. Haven't done a haven't made a video for my YouTube for some time now. I just wanted to tune in to talk about Christianity. Everyone's favorite topic, There's a lot of things that have gone on in the past, month or so. You had the poor Ukrainian woman stabbed to death on a train by a nigger. And you had good old Mr. Charlie Kirk shot to death in front of his children and his wife and many thousands of people. So a lot has transpired. To someone with a nationalist perspective, none of it is really surprising, and it doesn't really radicalize me more than I'm radicalized. Seeing a white woman just stabbed to death for no reason. If you're really aware of what's going on, you see that shit every day. You see that shit. I've seen that shit every day for a decade on the internet. If white women really knew how much violence is perpetrated towards them by minorities, whatever, black and brown people, if white women really knew the statistics on how much violence and sexual assault and rape is perpetuated on them by people outside of their race, it would radicalize most white women like this. It's madness. It's total madness, So, yeah, it's crazy times, but it's always crazy times, and, But yeah, Christianity, what I wanted to talk about today was Christianity. So Charlie Kirk's wife, forgives the killer in the big, Super Bowl memorial that they had, which I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just, it's just cringy. That's all I could say. I mean, it's just cringy. Yeah, it just makes me fucking cringe. But yeah, she forgives him. Same with the killer of Austin Metcalf, rest in peace. His father forgives the murderer of his son. And the list goes on these poor people that just get brutally murdered, raped, dismembered, lit on fire, eaten, abused, whatever, just the whole litany. And there's always this forgiveness component. So, as a heathen, justice and revenge are often one and the same, especially throughout the sagas and the Havamal and the words of Odin. And it's a pretty stark difference between this philosophy or the principle of forgiveness within Christianity. And you see it everywhere all the time. And it seems to me that it is a suicidal ideology. It is a self-deprecating, masochistic, ideology. And, if anyone killed one of my family members or my spouse or my children, I would avenge them. I would not forgive them. I would not let their death go unpunished. And that's natural law in my mind. And this whole ideology of forgiveness is just like I said, it's suicidal. It's hard for me to express all of these thoughts when I'm just speaking out into the void, into the ether. it's a lot easier when I'm having a conversation with people to kind of like follow dialogue and then craft in wordsmith sentences to properly, convey, to properly communicate, but it's hard when I'm just sitting here on my back-o in the shop just speaking into the ether. So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that Christianity is a religion of cowards. It's a religion that espouses cowardice and meekness and being humble and all this shit. And I don't agree with it. And the reason I don't agree with it is because it is suicidal. It's suicidal. And if we want to live as a people, we have to enact revenge. We have to seek justice. We have to use the same violence that is perpetuated on us, on our enemies. It's the only way, because this world is made up of force and violence and strength. That is the way of the world. Now, I didn't make the rules. I don't even know if it's good or bad or whatever. I think maybe it's beyond that. But that is the nature of the world. And so, if you have this suicidal... Oh, someone's here. Someone's here, I can hear him. Hold on. Well, just a neighbor. Anyways, if you have this suicidal empathy, I could call it, it will just lead to your destruction. A good example of this is the Afrikaners people in South Africa. They were staunch Protestant Christians. If I'm not mistaken, they were out of the Calvinist movement. That's where their Protestant Christian beliefs come from. And it is it gave them great strength. Like if you read about the history of I think it's called Blood River, where like 300 Boers fought off like 10,000 Bushmen, and they dedicated their victory to God and said that we will forever follow God if he brings us through this. And depending on your perspective, he did bring them, through it. Or, their rifles and their muskets and their military knowledge brought them through it, and their fierceness. You could see it however way, whatever way. But, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Christianity and how I really believe that it is a suicidal ideology. Turn the other cheek and forgive your enemies and love and all this stuff. It doesn't resonate with me at all. Justice resonates with me. Revenge resonates with me. Force and strength and violence resonates with me, because as a farmer, I don't live in the city. I never have. I've always lived out here on this land, out in the boonies. And you see nature and you see the natural cycles, and there's no love in the natural cycles. There's no forgiveness or humility. It's force, it's strength, it's power, and it's violence, will. That is the natural, that is nature. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. And, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to completely fed post myself. But, there's a certain tribe of people that have been kicked out of 109 or 110 different countries over the past, 1,500 years. And I always think to myself, man, the Aryan Aryan means noble. That's what it means. Side note, I knew a family growing up that their last name was Noble, and they were like the most Aryan people you could possibly imagine. I mean, they were the embodiment of what you think of as an Aryan was this family, and their last name was Noble. So Aryan means noble. And I think that the Aryan spirit, the noble spirit of our people, the biospirit of our people, has always been too kind to these tribes that should have been exterminated a long time ago. So the next time that they come to get kicked out, or we're about to kick them out, I think that we should end that cycle, and we should exterminate the vermin that have been plaguing our people for thousands of years. So that's what I think. Hail the gods, hail our kin, hail our folk. Cheers.